Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 1ND podcast. I'm your host, Vikas, joined by my co-host, Sagar. And today, it is the KunalCast, part 3. How you doing, Kunal?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Hey, pretty good, man. So, you have some big news, don't you?
I do. Earlier today, I dropped 4 new designs for my fashion brand, Let the World Know. And they're, up on my website, www.ltwkbrand.com. And they're designs that I've been working on for the past couple of months. And because of coronavirus, there were issues like uploading it because the people who handle my drop shipping, they were dealing with coronavirus issues themselves. So finally they have enough people to handle new orders, so I was able to drop them earlier today.
Yeah, man. We've been watching the growth of this brand, right? And we got a little sneak peek of all your designs beforehand, but I'm going through. I think I'm gonna buy one right now.
Oh, thank you.
Really
I appreciate it.
I really like the retro that far and away. The retro design is my favorite. Welcome to LTWK EST 2020. Adding that to cart right now. But yeah, everyone check out the new designs because they are all great ones. And he's been working on this. He's been sitting on this for a while and just perfecting it during coronavirus. And I believe you would have wanted it out earlier, but hey, it's out now. And I like the collection. So ltwkbrand.com if you want to cop one of these great tees or long sleeves or whatever you want.
Yeah, just go check them out. We have short sleeves, long sleeves, hoodies, and hats as well. So, whatever floats your boat. Yeah.
I gotta say, those bucket hats are pretty fire. I really want one, so I may snag one of those.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And we appreciate you as well because it's you also seek to have this ethical background of all your clothing and everything, and Karma Styles, we want that too. And so similarly, you and I, and Sagar have been working through this whole process, finding these ethical brands, ethical clothing, and it means a lot to all three of us that everything is ethically sourced because we don't want to support those sweatshops in China or anywhere else, Bangladesh, anywhere that sweatshops would be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, extensive research has been going in, and Karma Styles and LTWK brand, we're both socially conscious and everything too. So it's awesome to see both of us grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's honestly the most important thing is that, we could use cheaper brands that aren't ethically sourced, but that kind of defeats the whole purpose of our message. You know what I mean? We're trying to create clothes and promote positivity, and that's kind of hypocritical if we're using clothes that are manufactured in a unethical way.
And I can understand other brands that they're trying to be ethical and whatnot in terms of social outreach, and then it's tough because they have the resources. The resources are readily available online, right? You go online, you research the brands, you see how everything's made. You can even send them an email or call the company and understand the process that the clothing goes through to be created. And so, I wanted to give them an excuse, but there's really none at this point because not only are we're using these ethically sourced materials to create these designs and these shirts and clothing and the whole brand essentially, and we're still by no means we're not charging the cheapest prices out there, but they're fair. They're fair prices, and they're along with the market norm. I feel. What do you think about that as an economics man, Sagar?
So what I will say is that oftentimes when you hear ethically sourced or it's sustainable, typically that comes with this very exaggerated price because from an economics perspective, there's a utility to be had through the fact that it is ethically sourced for people because they get some peace of mind. They feel good about themselves. They feel guilt-free. So those things have a value, right? And so oftentimes with brands that are ethical, I do feel kudos to them. but there is some kind of upcharge for them being ethical as well. Because again, it does take effort to go through, and finding sustainable like clothing, ethical clothing, and in any other field as well. But like through making the brand and understanding how these things are made, what you realize is that there's been this push for more ethical clothing around the world, especially in the United States, I would say, and it's become a lot more affordable. So like you were saying, we have the ability now to make completely ethical clothing with no sweatshops involved, no cheap labor involved, and we can do it at a price that a normal shirt would be priced at. And I think that's one of the good things about just the resources that are out there that people can use, and just how more available it is, which I think is a good thing, right? Because eventually prices may go down more, again, to a certain point, right? Because after a certain threshold, you're, again, probably you're bordering that, unethical like territory, based on how much it may cost to do something. But right now, it's pretty affordable in sense that sourcing these kind of things is readily accessible, and we can sell them for a price that's competitive with other brands who may not necessarily have ethical clothing. For example, the Nikes out there, who may be charging similar, if not higher prices for their goods, like t-shirts, for example, but they're not ethical. So I really like how we can be ethical and provide a good price, both us and let the world know, because we're using a good we have a good source of ethical clothing.
And one thing I do want to say is that many companies like to say made in the USA.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, and people think if it's made in the USA, it's ethically sourced. And I don't want that to be the norm, right? Just because it's made in the USA, it doesn't mean that the materials were sourced in an ethical way. The cotton, the polyester, whatever it is that's inside that clothing could have been sourced in the worst way possible, shipped to the United States, assembled in the United States, and then they can just apply that tag, made in the USA. It's good advertising, I guess, right? Because, you're putting this, you're portraying your thing as, your clothing as ethical, when it truly may not be at all. And so definitely, if anyone else is starting their own fashion brand and wants to be ethical in any way, shape, or form, definitely do your due diligence. Kunal honestly helped us a lot in the process with the ethical clothing, and his research that he did through the process really helped us find, what we wanted to do as well. And so kudos to Kunal and his efforts in, making sure everything is ethically sourced. And yeah, on our Discord calls, I know you're very concerned about the sourcing of it all, because even if it slightly sounds like it may be unethical, you raise questions, you research the topic and everything. So that's cool on you, dude.
Yeah. Because it's kind of hard. If they don't say it like explicitly on their website, there's always some doubt in my mind. You know what I mean? So like, you just got to go on the website of the like blanks that you're going to use, and like in their About Us section, if they have a section that says we are ethically sourced and then they explain it, that's a good sign that that they're actually ethically sourced. If they just say ethically sourced and that's all they say, that raises some questions and concerns.
Right, and there's some certifications out there like RAP certification and things like that that help boost the credibility of those claims, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so LTWK brand new designs out now. Kunal's doing his little press release right now on the 1D podcast.
Absolutely.
And so it just dropped today, 8/2/2020. So, cop it while it's hot.
Yes, sir.
Hey, moving on, dude. I want to apologize to anyone that can hear a fan in my background, because it is currently almost 90 degrees in my house. Recording with an AC destroyed right now. It's not fun. And we know, dude, Zogger, the PC kind of just makes the room 10 times hotter. So
oh yeah, dude, it makes it so much warmer.
It is getting rough. I'm already sweating, and we're only 10 minutes in.
Yeah, I will say, like, it generates like so much heat. Sometimes so my PC is like pretty close to where my door is, and so like it'll be on and I'm playing games, and I'll go like to the bathroom or something, and I come back and I open my door, and I can just feel the heat emanating from the side of the PC. So it's like it's definitely a built-in heater. I will say.
And
that.
we've got to play with our doors closed because we're yelling at Modern Warfare half the time.
Exactly.
At DC Soccer, and trying to coordinate everything, so it just traps the heat in our rooms, and bro, it is just because our average temps I'd say are like 55 degrees Celsius, and that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what that is in freedom units. I have no idea.
In freedom units. That's funny. Do people call it freedom units? I
think that's what the people over there call it. So
that's funny.
But yeah, it gets hot. That's the main point. And I will say, like, there's been a lot of ACs that have been like breaking, like across, like at least the people we know. And I think it's just because of the heat, man. It's like so hot in Florida right now.
Yeah, we were discussing this earlier. It's just like Florida summers, and I can't even like Arizona summers must suck because that's dry heat and everything too. But maybe the moisture in Florida also wrecks it. But like these ACs are on constantly, and that cannot be good for ACs, bro. They're breaking down left, right, and center. Mine just broke. Remember last year?
Yeah.
Like while my parents were in India, the house was 90 degrees, and so it was just tough.
I will say though, like, so I have a friend. His name is Hassan, and he's from the Middle East, right? He's from Kuwait. So I think it was yesterday. He sent me like a screenshot of the forecast in Kuwait. And mind you, this is at like 11 o'clock at night, right? And the real feel, can you guess what it was? Like in like Fahrenheit?
Oh, geez, I don't know. 101.
120 at 11 p.m.
No, dude.
That's
how hot it gets.
Insane.
That's insane, right? It's insane. At 10:43 p.m., the real feel was 120 degrees. Like, oh my goodness.
When I went to my volunteer trip to Thailand, we had a stop in Qatar, and it was like a multi-hour layover, like at least 10.
Yeah.
And the outside, it said it felt like 110, and we were inside the airport. I think the air conditioning was on as much as they could possibly have it.
Yeah.
And it was sweltering hot in there, and I just can't imagine. I couldn't imagine being outside because that airport looked like it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
in like a desert. So like, yeah, I guess we got to be thankful for our 90 degrees over here.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when us three, we would used to play basketball in like the hottest weather possible.
Dude, I used to go running.
Yeah, it's because the court at Sauger's house is the only court that has like a 3-point line. So we'd have to play at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon before it got dark.
Yeah, and what sucks is I don't have like a light. So that's the only reason we had to play during the day. Yeah. Like, I feel like we should invest in some like floodlights and just hook it up.
Yeah,
when we need
honestly.
It. Just like go like 3 ways on a floodlight and then we're good to go.
No, we'll just get an indoor court in the future, man.
Yes. Exactly. Once our fashion brand blows up.
Yes, sir.
That's the move.
Air conditioning indoor court.
Exactly.
We'll be on our Drake stuff right there. Oh my god, that's the dream, isn't it?
It
is.
And
speaking of basketball,
55 degrees Celsius, really quick, is 131 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, so that'll warm up your room pretty darn quick.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, speaking of basketball, I know like we're pretty excited. Well, me and Kunal more. You don't really watch the regular season, but the NBA is back, and there've been some good games, I will say.
Yes.
I watched the end of the fourth quarter for the Lakers and Clippers.
Yeah, and so again, LeBron is the GOAT. We can all agree.
Yeah, you saw LeBron Defensive Player of the Year at the end of that game.
Bro, he's playing such good defense. Skip Bayless is complimenting him.
Yeah, that's how you know.
2020 is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And I just love the like screenshot someone took of Kawhi's face.
Oh,
when
that was
LeBron
so funny.
Him.
That's the same face he made when Paul George was guarding him, and then he just hit a like nasty fadeaway.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he was just like, it wasn't the same face. It was because when Kawhi made the face with Paul George, it looked like he was like, this ain't nothing. But then when he's making it with LeBron, he's like,
yeah,
I needed to drive or something.
Yeah,
he should have drove. I do think on that play, but I think it would have been a heavily contested shot and then he wouldn't have set up anyone else for a good shot.
No. Although I will say, like, no, you're saying something about Paul George?
Paul George, he's been
fire. So scary, dude. Now that his shoulders are fully healed and he had time to rest it off, he's just absolutely going lights out.
Yeah, and before he was not a clutch player. right? And then he made that 3 in the fourth quarter that was nasty. But
Yeah.
I did see a stat where LeBron, when he was guarding Kawhi or Paul George, I think they only scored 2 points in the second half or the fourth quarter or something like that. Like,
I think the
he was
stat
a
line
lockdown
is,
defender.
the stat line when LeBron was guarding them in the fourth is like insane. I think that's when he held both of them down to like 2 points when he was guarding them.
And that's the thing with LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't showing up too much in the offensive department. And so he's like, you know what? I'll just be the defensive player of the year right now and guard 2 of the best players in our league right now.
Yeah, and he hit the game winner too. Like he hit the go-ahead bucket to give him the lead.
And they were not calling fouls for him.
No.
Yeah.
And that was crazy to me. One thing I want to say is people always think that there are more fouls called now than there were in the 90s and that the fouls called now are like soft. But in the 90s, there were so many fouls that were the softest things ever. And you just have to look at the tape. You just have to look at the games. The games are available. You just Google it. But people don't want to Google things. And I don't know.
You know what's funny is like I'm watching the Last Dance documentary on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a part where like they have a segment on the Dream Team, and it's Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan like posing for a photo.
Right.
And like Magic Johnson was joking like, I can't touch Michael or else I'll get a foul. Like
exactly.
So, they were blowing the whistle back then pretty like constantly.
It's been the same, honestly. The fouls have just kind of changed and evolved over time. And honestly, like, I don't think it's as much. It's as big of a difference as people say it is. And also, I've realized that people do not understand what a travel is or what a gather step is in basketball. Bro, anytime Giannis has a crazy dunk, he never travels. Well, I don't never say that. I've seen him travel a couple times, right, on those crazy dunks. But he'll start from well before the 3-point line, take 2 steps, and then dunk it, right?
Yep.
And people are like, travel, travel, travel. They don't understand. You get 1 step to gather the ball, and then the 2 steps start to come into play.
Yep.
And that's such a ticky-tack thing. That's why James Harden's so good right now, is that he's taking advantage of the weird, gather step rule, but that's always been a thing.
Mm-hmm. So, I think we need to take advantage of it when we play, because like I don't. Like it seems like it looks like a travel in like game time speed, but then when you slow it down, it really doesn't, right? Like at least for me, because it's like so bang bang, but when you slow it down, it's clearly a gather step, and so I really need to learn how to do that. Like
you just gather the ball in it.
Yeah, but like, I need to do it as good as them. Well, at least.
Well, good luck with that. They're
yeah.
elite for that reason.
At least like half as like I can at least practice on how to two steps as good as them. I mean,
I know what you're saying. I mean, I need to practice in general. I haven't been out in the court in a while. I know. Kunal's out here practicing his dribbling. Allen Iverson Jr. up in here.
Exactly. I'm still bad, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Thanks.
We are by no means good at the game of basketball.
Oh yeah, let's make that clear. We are.
What are you talking about, dude?
Oh gosh. I guess my best thing is that I can shoot decently and I can drive decently. But I am 5'9" at best. And so on a good day. And so, it's tough to compete with.
According to my driver's license, which is in my hand, I am 5'10".
Oh, look at you.
I think I'm also
like 5'11".
Yeah, 5'11"-ish. I can only shoot though. That's it.
Well, no, Kunal, you're definitely like 6 foot now. Like, when did you get your license? Because like you had an insane growth spurt.
Like, I think
I'm sure on his license it probably says 5'9".
No, my license it says 5'10".
Oh wow!
And since then you've definitely grown.
Yeah, well, so I changed my picture in like 2017. So that was like, what, 3 years ago? So yeah, maybe I've grew an inch or so.
I mean, you are taller than Sauger.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And
I mean, you know what? I'll round up. Let's say I'm 6 foot.
You're
You're
definitely 6 foot.
I'm not giving you that.
Actually, no, yeah, you're 5'12". That's what you are.
You're 5'11" and a half.
I'm 5'11" and a half.
I'm going to say you're 5'12", just to not give you the satisfaction of being 6 foot.
Okay. It's whatever.
You're definitely there though.
Sorry, you were so smooth, Brian. I hate you.
Okay. Well,
Oh, brother.
comes with the name. Well, that's all I'll say.
So another thing, TJ Warren just dropped 53 points the other night.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
that's
So my roommate in the upcoming semester, he's from Indiana, and he's a Pacers fan, obviously, right?
Didn't
And
you also have a friend that was Arizona, like from Arizona? So he's probably a Phoenix fan, right?
yeah.
So they traded away TJ Warren for absolutely nothing, and I don't know why. He was one of their best scorers next to Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they gave him away for cash considerations, and then TJ Warren made a comment about that as well.
Yeah. What's it called? No, but like my roommate was just going off on Twitter. He was like, yo, and we don't even have Sabonis playing or like all the other players playing. He's like, yo, y'all keep sleeping on us. You'll see.
No, you guys are good.
DeMontis Sabonis is the real deal. And obviously Victor Oladipo.
Yeah.
Once he gets back into his true form, he'll lights out.
Yeah.
And Miles Turner, too.
They want to trade him though.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Man, they're so good.
They are good. They are good. But are they as good as the Raptors or the Bucks? You know, that's the question at hand.
I don't think they're on that level.
I think the 76ers are underrated. I think
they're
gonna
hot garbage.
Do you really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I
think their chemistry is so bad, like it's not salvageable.
I think I have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, have your little debate here right now.
Like, okay, so what do you like about them, Kunal?
I think that they are there. I think Ben Simmons is underappreciated. Right?
Yeah, I would say people rag on him too much for not being able to shoot.
Yeah, I would also say that.
But I also think that's funny considering he is an NBA player.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean he is a elite defender. I mean yesterday there's the meme that like since he was the primary defender on TJ Warren, like not all 50 of his points were on Ben Simmons, but the people are just saying, "Oh, TJ Warren dropped 50 on Ben Simmons." Right? But like besides that meme, he's an elite defender, right? Josh Richardson is a good defender. Joel Embiid is obviously a good defender. I mean, I don't really know much about Al Horford anymore, or if he's washed or not, because I don't really watch the Sixers like that. But from what I remember, he was a good defender. I don't know if that's still the case now.
See, I think I do like Ben Simmons. I think he's like one of the closest things to LeBron next to like Luka Doncic, probably. I actually think Luka is a better shot creator as a point guard than Ben Simmons is, but Ben Simmons fills that role as a point guard pretty well. I remember seeing a chart where it's like top shot creators in the NBA for the last season or two, and it was like total shots created was on one axis, the other axis was points per shot, and you know, far and away, like literally on the top right corner, the best of best, like no one even close in that stratosphere was LeBron James, obviously. And I remember seeing Ben Simmons, he was pretty high in terms of shots created, but in terms of points per shot, he wasn't even higher than like Luka Doncic or John Morant or Ricky Rubio. But they create less shots than him. So LeBron creates the most shots and he has the most points per shot, which just shows how good of a point guard he is, as of a distributor as he is. And you could see that on full display against the Clippers. Bro, there were times where I saw LeBron, and the fact that greatness is so crazy, right? Like, he identifies how to create a shot in the matter of a split second. So I saw he was bringing the ball up the court, and he saw the Clippers were all in the paint. And so he starts driving, knowing that some of the Clippers will instantly hesitate towards him to help, and then they would disperse once they see someone else is already helping. But in that split second, LeBron not only drives, but figures out the best person to throw it to and, you know, shoots a wide open three. Half the time it's Danny Green, who's 0 for like 72 since the bubble started. But they've all been like set shots. Like he should have made them 9 times out of 10. Nobody's in front of him, no defense. Danny Green is all alone and he's not making his shots. Once he starts making them, the Lakers will be even better, which is crazy to think about. But dude, LeBron and his greatness almost unparalleled. Luka looks pretty good compared to him, but even then, in terms of shots created, he's not even up there yet. But Luka's obviously only 22.
I feel
Mhm.
like the main distinction though is that LeBron at like the age Luka was at, like his game was not as polished, but you could see that his game would polish later on. But at the same time, like his physical stature was just gonna get better and better, right? Whereas
I don't know if that's true.
like
His game was really polished. At
well,
age
like it got even more polished,
18,
is what I'm
19.
saying, right?
Well, yeah, that's
And
for
like
everyone.
especially with today's game I'm talking about, it wasn't as polished, like relatively. And so my point is that I don't think Luka is going to get to that LeBron level just because he's not as like physically dominant as LeBron, right? I feel like LeBron has that like aspect to his game as well as being like a physical freak, whereas I don't think Luka will ever like reach that level, like in terms of like his ascension throughout the rest of his career.
But I think what Luka has is that nasty step back. He has the better touch in terms of shots in general. And so where he lacks in LeBron's athleticism and getting to the basket, I think he beats LeBron in terms of shooting capabilities.
Yeah, I would agree. Luka definitely.
And that's
shoots
just
better.
with the evolution of the game. That's
Yeah.
why when you say polished, it may be that the game changed along with LeBron. And so he looks more polished in terms of the change of the game. But he and Luka were both, like, when they came in, they were amazing. And I don't think polish is the correct word. I think it's just like LeBron's always been great since he came into the league. He's just gotten, I know what you're saying though. He's gotten better. Definitely.
Like I'm saying that if you take both of them when they were like rookies and like map out their future, we obviously know what LeBron has. I think LeBron's growth potential was greater at that time than Luka's is now. Like I think Luka won't reach as high as LeBron did, which is again kind of easy to say because like LeBron is literally the pinnacle. But like I feel like it's going to be hard for Luka to get to that level.
Possibly, but Luka's already averaging almost a triple-double in his second season. In
Yeah,
the
which
league.
is insane.
And so LeBron has never done that. And
Well,
so it's tough to say.
you know he could. He just hasn't.
Yeah, but he hasn't. And
Like-
that's just fact. He hasn't done it. He could if he wanted to, but he hasn't.
He's leading the league in assists. And how old is he right now? Like what? Like 34?
35.
30. Oh my goodness. So yeah, like we know LeBron could, but yeah, he hasn't. That is a fair point.
And then I guess to go back to the 76ers, I think they're rated perfectly. Honestly, I don't think they're underrated. I don't think they're overrated. They're a good team. And people saying, the acquisition of Al Horford was kind of weird, and I agree. I don't know why they did that when they have Joel Embiid. But I think it was purely to slow down Giannis, because every time Giannis would play against the Sixers, it would just be crazy, like too one-sided. And when Al Horford got on the team, I mean, to say he stopped him isn't really like accurate to say, because Giannis is still scoring, I think averaging like 27, 28 points per game against them. But I'm pretty sure before it was like upper 30s, maybe even 40s whenever he would play the Sixers.
That's
he would
like
just have a field day.
That's like
against the 76ers.
That's like Iguodala getting the MVP for holding LeBron to 34 points a game or something, right?
Correct.
Like
that year LeBron deserved to have MVP even though he lost.
Yeah, that was insane. So again, it's
You
not
agree,
necessarily stopping him. You're just like
I do
limiting
agree.
him a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
It's just-
so impressive that he could take them to 6 games when his second best player was Dellavedova.
And
Yeah.
people were saying, "Oh, prime Dellavedova, he was great. He was one of the best players." Shut up, bro. LeBron. This is the first time LeBron has had like actually. I don't know. I don't know where people would rank Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love, but Anthony Davis is better than Kyrie and Kevin Love. And
By far.
Michael Jordan had literally the number 2 best player in the league in Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't understand where, like, everyone's like, Michael, he never had to, make a super team or anything like that. Bro, like, he had Scottie Pippen. He didn't need to make a super team. And Scottie Pippen was getting paid pennies every single year just to stay on the Bulls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird. You know what else that annoys me in basketball? The Celtics. Those 2008, 2009 Celtics. They're like, LeBron made a super team, blah, blah. Bro, you
Yeah, I
guys
don't
made the
really like
first
them.
super team. KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and then that's not even counting Rajon Rondo, because Rajon Rondo, they didn't expect him to be as good as he was. And so, not even considering Rajon Rondo, they got those 3 players. They came together on the Celtics and they talk so much. You'd think that they've won 6 championships. They talk almost as much as Michael Jordan does, and Michael Jordan deserves to talk his talk. They don't. They've won 1. Pat McCaw has 3.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Pat McCaw has the same amount of rings as LeBron. That's insane.
And Steph Curry.
And Steph. But did you know that all 3 of us have the same amount of final MVPs as Steph Curry?
Correct.
Okay, why do you got to go there, man?
What a loser.
Oh my god.
Steph Curry is one of the GOATs, though.
Yeah, he's the reason. He's the
game.
reason why people who aren't good at basketball can be good at basketball, because as long as you know how to shoot, you're fine. Like, if you can pull it from near half court and make it, you're good to go. And
it's just so strange that shooting has just now become prevalent. Maybe it's the age of analytics and people understand more about the game. But, like, Reggie Allen, he knew what he was doing back in the day and everything.
Who, you mean Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller,
my bad.
Yeah.
You combine Ray Allen.
I was thinking of Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Ray Allen and Reggie Miller.
I know what you did.
Ray Allen also knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
His claim to fame was his 3-point shooting, and he's just been blown out of the water with what Steph Curry has been doing and the advent of the 3-point. It just makes more sense, right? If you perfect the 3, you make it at a high clip. You're that much valuable to the game. You're scoring so many points, and the points are what make you win. And then you have, on top of that, people knowing how to game the refs to get fouls on the 3-point line, creating a possible 4-point play, with James Harden. It's just, and I think James Harden's beard is the secret to him getting as many fouls as he does.
Yeah, you've been telling me about that, right? It
Bro,
makes it more
about
emphasized.
Yeah, like if he snaps his head back, that beard goes flowing into the air, and it looks like something big happened when it was maybe like a graze of his eyebrow or something.
Oh my god.
I'm serious. You got to think about it. That beard is integral. Take it off, who knows what happens? I don't know if he gets as many foul calls.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, you know what else is back? The MLB. We were talking about it earlier. Jonas Cespedes is missing, and that's kind of weird.
Is he like I know he hasn't reported, so I guess no one knows where he is, or like. That seems kind of sus.
They haven't heard from him at all, and if they don't, and if they made that sort of announcement, why would they make that announcement?
True. That is very true. You would not. It's like, oh, he hasn't responded. Okay, whatever. He'll respond. And then I'm sure if they wanted to release it publicly, there'd have to be a reason for it.
Right. They released it publicly, and they have a whole PR team. It's the Mets, so you would think that they would be like, yeah, we are aware of his location. We just don't know why he's not reporting to the team. Yeah. No, they're not aware of his location. He's not reporting to the team. And I guess they said that they're not concerned. Like, they don't think that there's any foul play, but that's just because they haven't heard anything. Yeah. So that's a dumb thing to say. Like, there could be something wrong. I don't know. Jonas Cespedes is an enigma. I don't understand anything about that guy. He's gotten injured so many times in such freak fashion. I think one time he got hurt by getting off his horse or something like that.
Oh, man.
It's like crazy stuff. Yeah, hopefully he's fine. But baseball's back. The Rays haven't been doing too hot recently, which is unfortunate. Makes me sad. They're playing right now. I think they're tied 1-1 to the Baltimore Orioles, who are surprisingly good for some reason.
Yeah, haven't you said like having strong bats this season? I think
they have pretty strong bats.
So
and it's just kind of crazy to me.
I will say though, like I told you already, but. Like, baseball's viewership is up, like, 179%. And
yeah, probably because everyone is bored out of their mind.
That could be the reason. I also think that it's good that they're back in the sense that it's their opportunity to capture more viewers. Like with what I said about their viewership being up so much, like, they have a good chance right now to, like, really get people to enjoy the game more. And that's where I think they could be successful in keeping fans and like getting new viewers. So hopefully this like experiment of a 60-game season goes well for them, because baseball is fun. Like there should be more people involved.
And I think, but the problem is, like we discussed in our baseball podcast, bro, they are not taking the right measures. They're traveling. They're going to bathrooms. They're in buses and everything. Like, that's just... You're just waiting for coronavirus to spread at that point.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And I'm looking at my phone right now. Wow, just got another notification. Rays lost. Gosh darn it, dude. It's so sad. But the latest round of coronavirus tests for the Cardinals are not good, and there are multiple new positives. And so you got to be concerned at that point. If you're Rob Manfred, you got to be like, is there consideration of the season shutting down? Is there anything that you guys can do to mitigate these problems that are happening? Because the Cardinals it happened to the Cardinals. It seems like it's widespread now in the Cardinals. It was widespread with the Marlins. It's tough to play with the Marlins now. You've got half the team, basically their taxi squad, AAA team. Now it might happen to the Cardinals. Who's next, right? Like the Reds had a decent outbreak. The Braves, they're fine, but they had a small outbreak earlier. But it can happen to any team at any point in time, and so it's just concerning, I feel. And I'd be interested to see the viewership for MLB now that the NBA has started again.
True.
I want to see their numbers.
And I think, honestly, again, like we were talking about last podcast, I don't think the MLB will finish at this rate, just because, nothing seems to be as strict as it should be, with masks especially, and, social distancing, and, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the season is gonna last, or if it does, there's gonna be, some teams that are not gonna be able to finish. I know Rob Manfred, like you were saying also, said that if things keep on going at this rate, they may have to cancel the season, which would not be great. So we'll see what happens. It'll
be weird. And see, the thing is, with what happens with the MLB season is directly going to impact the NFL season. The NBA, they're fine. They've got it right with their bubble. They've got everything going fine. Restricting everything that everyone can do, masks outside of the games and everything. So the NBA I think they're going to definitely finish their season, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the MLB season gets canceled, or if coronavirus cases get worse within the MLB, I think that'll have direct impacts with the NFL. And we're waiting on that. We're getting ready to start our fantasy draft, bro.
It's crazy. And speaking of the NFL, so today, an 8th player on the Patriots opted out of the season, which is a record high. And so now that's stirring even more conspiracy theories about...
And here's some more breaking news. The Falcons suck. Oh, wait, that's not breaking news.
Gee, why did you have to go there, dude?
That's just rude.
Why I got to do our guests dirty like that?
What are your predictions for the Falcons this season?
Oh, we're going 5-11. Easy.
Why do you say that?
Hold up. Because I remember when the schedule originally came out, I was like, oh man, this is bad. Here, let me pull up what was supposed to be the schedule. And
go for it.
Let me show you.
Definitely, the NFC South has a tough schedule. I think they play the AFC West.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So
they're playing the Chiefs. They're playing the Broncos, who are getting better. The Raiders are getting better. And then who's the last team?
Is it?
It's Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers.
I was going to say Chargers.
Yeah.
So let's see.
They suck.
Here, we're losing to the Seahawks. We're probably going to lose to the Cowboys. I think we can beat the Bears. We're losing to the Packers. We're going to beat the Panthers. We're losing to the Vikings. The Lions, I have no idea. I honestly think...
trash.
I don't know.
Dude, I think Matt Stafford, if he comes back with a clean bill of health, I think this could be one of his best seasons ever.
I also think
in his
so.
Career.
I think he's underrated.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think he could have an MVP season this season, and it still won't be enough to make it to the playoffs, unfortunately, with that Lions team.
People forget to realize that Matt Stafford inherited an 0-16 team, literally. So,
to be fair, he had Calvin Johnson.
Well, yeah, but even if you have a good player, dysfunctional ownership, with Drew Brees, right? If you don't have a good defense, no matter how historically good you are, you're not going to win Super Bowls or get far.
I will say with the Falcons, they tend to surprise you in a couple games over the season.
Yeah,
right?
but
they'll beat a good team or two during the season.
Yeah, like
but
last season they beat the 49ers, and I was like, okay, why couldn't you do that against the freaking garbage teams?
and they beat the 49ers when it didn't matter for them at all.
Exactly.
Which makes it so much like funnier because they can't even lose right. The Falcons, gotta love them.
Okay, but you're a Colts fan, so I mean,
Hey, we got Phillip Rivers. I bet it cost $50 that the Colts are going to make the playoffs, and I am very confident in that bet.
Dude, I'll bet you $1,000.
Will you really?
No, I won't.
You cap too much, Kunal.
I do. But the Colts are not making the playoffs.
They're definitely making the
playoffs.
They
could. They have a trash division. No more DeAndre Hopkins on the Texans. The Titans, if Derrick Henry slumps, then the whole team will slump.
No, I still think that the Texans and the Titans
suck.
are better.
You think the Texans?
Well, yeah,
are
but
better?
aren't the playoffs expanded this season?
Oh yeah, that is true.
Well, it's the new CBA. It's the new CBA. So there's going to be one more team per division. I think it's going to be one more team, and only the one seed gets a bye. So yeah, there's going to be
just one extra team.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. I don't know the details.
We'll look into it later.
But
if that's the case, then it helps the Colts because they were what? Did they make the playoffs last season?
No, we were doing good in the beginning, and then we just started sucking.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The Colts have Rodney Adams and Marlon Mack, two USF stars, and I hope they do well.
We drafted a good running back who's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I do think Phillip Rivers is slightly overrated, but that's okay. He is essentially Jameis Winston light. Throws for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions.
We have a decent offensive line. Quentin Nelson's on it, so that just makes it better already.
Even when Phillip Rivers had a decent line, he was not amazing.
Hey man, you're gonna be in for a surprise. Colts are gonna be top of the division. Okay, I'm not. Gonna
also, one thing you don't realize is the fact that Phillip Rivers had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler. That was a great guy. As a pass catcher. And so I'd say Keenan Allen is definitely better than T.Y. Hilton. I'd say Mike Williams is better than anyone else the Colts have. I don't even know the Colts wide receivers. And
if I'm being honest, neither do I.
Zach Pascal, that's one of them. He's pretty good.
Zach Pascal. He's not bad. He did pretty well with
I think we
Jacoby
drafted
Brissett.
Paris Campbell. I think he's going to be good.
And then you also lost your best red zone threat with Eric Ebron.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't re-sign him. I don't think he would have been too expensive. But you know what? I'm just going to believe in the GM. He's been doing a good job. So there's really no reason for me to doubt him.
That's undeniable. The GM is pretty good. But all of it will be futile because the Bucs will be winning this Super Bowl.
Yes,
that
sir.
That is not correct.
And they're going to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's also not correct.
That's not gonna. No, it's gonna be the Chiefs. It's 100% gonna be the Chiefs.
You don't have any money anymore. All their money's going to Patrick Mahomes.
You already know
it's gonna be the Ravens. Okay, y'all sleeping on Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is 0-2, and he's absolutely done terrible in the playoffs.
Okay, you're disrespectful. Okay,
I'm not disrespectful. I'm stating facts.
I need you to watch your tone when you talk about the GOAT.
You know who has had success in the playoffs? Ben Roethlisberger. He's been to 3 Super Bowls, won many playoff games, and so I think hopefully he just wins the Super Bowl or gets to it. He's happy enough and retires, and we get rid of Mason Rudolph. We get rid of Duck Hodges. We find a better quarterback because everyone else sucks.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph said the N-word, so
He literally didn't. But he probably has in his life. I don't like Mason Rudolph as a person. You guys are making it seem you stop making me defend Mason Rudolph.
No, you have to. He's on the Steelers.
All right, your owner is Jim Irsay.
Okay, yeah, and I embrace it.
Jesus Christ.
He's racist.
Is he racist? I don't know. I don't
know. He's a bad person. Don't embrace Jim Irsay. That's not a sentence you should say.
I embrace him being terrible as an owner. How about that?
Well, I want to say, the Falcons, they do have, that great offense in Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. I do think, as much, I make fun of Matt Ryan because I like making fun of things that you like, Kunal. But I do think he's underrated.
I also think he's underrated.
What? Weren't you the one who was saying that he was not a top 10 QB in the league?
Who,
yeah,
me?
I'm trolling. I'm a big troll, man.
You sounded pretty serious.
Bro, because you know how I like getting people triggered. You see what I do in Super Smash Bros. With Hamel? you see what I do all the time. I just make people annoyed, and I just find enjoyment out of it. And Kunal was getting very annoyed when I said Matt Ryan was not a top 10 player.
I was getting very annoyed.
And how about, I mean, I'm not wrong. 2019, 2020, the NFL players voted that he wasn't a top 10 player. So
yeah, that list
Josh
is
Allen,
dumb.
Better than Matt Ryan.
That list.
Wait, did Matt Ryan not
stupid.
make the top 100?
No,
Nope.
but you know who did make it? Josh Allen.
You know who else made it? Dak Prescott, who was absolutely 100% overrated.
Yeah,
but I will
Carson
say,
Wentz didn't make it either.
Yeah, which I think
it's
is
just
a travesty.
dumb list.
Yeah, it's not
I don't
good.
know, if you look at the stats, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, kind of the same. I mean, you got to take into the fact that Carson Wentz has a way worse offensive line.
Would the Eagles make the playoffs with Dak Prescott last year? No.
Yes.
No, they would not have made the playoffs with Dak Prescott last year.
Oh yeah, because wait, will the Eagles make the playoffs?
Yeah, with Dak Prescott last year.
I don't know. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they would not.
No, probably not. I mean, they did have a decent defense in terms of defensive line. Their secondary is utter garbage. And then they had Miles Sanders, who I think is really good.
Yeah, but their wide receivers were worse than us. Like, we could have been out there and caught some of the balls.
Exactly, dude. Even the Philly fans were making fun of him.
Bro, I still can't get over that guy who was catching the guy. He was catching people out of a fire, like a house on fire, and then he's like, in the middle of his news interview, he's like, I forget what he said.
He was like, I was catching him, unlike Aguilar or something like that.
It was hilarious,
bro. That is so funny. But man literally stopped in the middle, and then he looked at the camera when he said, unlike Aguilar. Oh, that was too funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. But I want to say Matt Ryan is underrated. Because he is pretty clutch, decently. He is pretty good in throwing the ball to only Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. I mean, what other option does he have? He just throws it to the open man, and he has great wide receivers.
Yeah,
wide receivers do make him look a little better, I will say.
Our third wide receiver is Russell Gage. He's okay.
I forget. Didn't they have a decent one last year?
Mohamed
was it Russell Gage? Oh, yeah.
They traded him, which, again, they fleeced the Patriots. That was a terrible deal on the Patriots' end. Second-round pick?
Yeah.
That's insane. You guys got lucky with that.
Yeah, imagine the Patriots, they could have gotten DeAndre Hopkins. That's a trade I expect Bill Belichick to make.
Dude, imagine if the Patriots had, D-Hop and Brady stayed. Whatever. That's what if.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that, Matt Ryan is underrated, but he's still only the third best quarterback in the NFC South?
Would you agree with that, Kunal?
I don't.
You'd say he's better than Brady?
Yeah, I think I think he's better than Drew Brees, too.
Oh, no.
All right, so I'm going to have to ask you to get out of this podcast. That was a blasphemous statement. How could you say... You have no logical reasoning for Matt Ryan being better than Drew Brees.
I don't like Drew Brees. He annoys me.
All right, and that's not a logical reason.
Is it because he's
racist? Maybe.
Implicitly.
Hey, yeah.
Okay. Oh, man.
Well, let's not get on this topic again. We'll have a whole another hour on this podcast on that topic. Anything else with the NFL season? What are your guys' predictions, Super Bowl predictions?
I just gave you mine. It's going to be Colts and the Bucks.
You literally said Chiefs.
Yeah, well, I was wrong. I changed my mind. It's going to be the Colts and the Bucks.
Realistically speaking, I think it'll be either Chiefs and Packers or Ravens and Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go on an absolute tear this season.
Possibly, but his offense hasn't changed much.
No.
And so it's going to be tough. And his defense, that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is not the problem. He puts up the points in the postseason too. And, his passer rating is great. His completion percentage is pretty good. He throws a couple more interceptions, I feel, in the postseason than he does regular season. But his defense, for some reason, just lets up in the postseason. They just crumble under the pressure and they lose. And I think that's the only reason. Like, I've seen the Aaron Rodgers with the good defense, and that's a scary thing because they've destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. But I think it's just that defense won't keep up. And I think it's a good thing they drafted Jordan Love so that Aaron Rodgers can just leave and go to a good team.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, because they did sign him to a pretty long-term deal.
Maybe he has an opt-out somewhere or something. I don't know.
Hopefully.
But he did say, or maybe they'll trade him. Because he's like, yeah, they probably don't, I probably won't retire a Packer or anything like that.
Yeah,
and he's saying that.
It's like, it's the sign, it's the signal they gave him, right? They drafted his replacement.
And they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
Terrible draft pick.
Yeah, no, it did not make any sense.
I remember he went on the Pat McAfee show before the draft, and he's like, yeah, maybe they'll get me some, some help on, what do they say, like playmakers on the offense or something. And then he said, nah, I'll just entrust the leadership or something like that. And then afterwards, he's like, he couldn't say anything. That's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it really sucks.
Okay, so your prediction is Chiefs, Packers, or something,
or
Ravens,
Packers. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say it's gonna be the Chiefs and the Bucks. That's what I'm gonna say.
Dude, the Bucks are not good.
Tell me why.
I hate Tom Brady.
That's not a reason why they won't be good.
Yes, it is.
That's like saying he kisses his children, and that's the reason he won't be good.
That is
he
a
doesn't
fact.
Kiss them. He makes out with them.
Yeah, I don't like him, and I don't know. I just don't want them to succeed, so therefore they won't succeed.
I like your manifest destiny approach to this.
That maybe you should have used that in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
I'm just saying. What were you thinking during that?
Underlying
that happened 3 years ago. Leave me alone.
We will never leave you alone. It's going to be written down in history. It'll be on a stone tablet somewhere.
You know what,
Falcons blew a 28-3 lead.
Your quarterback got millions of dollars and then said, peace out, I'm retiring.
Hey, good for him, bro. He got his money. He's done. He doesn't have to suffer from CTE for another 10 years. Or, continuously add to it.
And now you're stuck with Phillip Rivers, who has 37 children.
We're going to draft.
They can't even social distance in their household.
Exactly.
We're going to draft someone good. I believe in the Colts.
I mean, probably, yeah.
We drafted Jacob Eason. He has a good arm. I just don't know how
that was
his
a strange
potential
draft
would
pick.
be. I think they got him at a good
place. You stick with Rivers and Brissett, so you have your backup. And then, do you really think Eason will be the quarterback of the future? I mean, maybe. You never know,
worth
right?
the pick, right?
He's worth the pick, yeah. Where he got drafted, but I don't know. Maybe hold off because isn't next year's draft going to be pretty good for quarterbacks too, or is it just Trevor Lawrence?
I think it's just. I think there's 2 or 3 more that have potential, but the main guy is Trevor Lawrence, 100%. Okay. I think the guy from Ohio State is going to be worth something. Pretty high up. I forget his name. It's slipping my mind.
That Gators quarterback might be good.
No, the Gators
suck. You were saying,
Kunal?
Oh. Yeah, Kyle Trask.
Oh, yeah. Seems like he's 22, so I don't know. Maybe he'll declare for the draft after next year.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Whatever college football is doing this season, because they're kind of being stupid right now. I don't know how the season is working, but if it were like a normal, regular college football season, then Kyle Trask would have been good because I think UF is really underrated, and I think we're going to be the best team in the SEC this year.
Oh, that is! Oh my God!
Why? Who do you think is better?
I don't know anything about college
Alabama.
Football, but I know that's a bold claim.
Alabama is garbage. Who's their quarterback?
Oh my God!
Alabama is mega garbage.
Guess what? It doesn't matter who their quarterback is. How many of their quarterbacks have been successful in the NFL? 0.
Okay, but guess what?
What?
I mean, Alabama lost to LSU last season too, right?
In the final game of the season, in the championship game.
Okay.
You didn't even make it to the playoffs.
But we lost 2 games, and who did we lose to? We lost to Georgia in a really close game where we choked, I'll admit that, and we lost to LSU. So our 2 losses, only one of them was really bad. The loss to LSU, we were really close that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the loss to Georgia, I'll admit, we choked that one away.
Okay.
But other than that, we beat some really good teams.
Yeah, but again, I don't think you're on that Bama level.
Well, yeah, but you don't watch... Do you watch SEC football?
I watch some of the games. Again, admittedly, probably not as much as you, because you're a UF fan, right? Like, you go to school, so...
Yeah,
I mean, I'm from USF. Our team kind of sucks.
if
if I'm being honest.
I mean, I don't know. I think now that Joe Burrow's gone, we can definitely beat LSU.
You think you can beat Alabama?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay,
Right, well, okay.
So we're the second best team in the SEC.
I'll give you that.
I don't know enough to even give you a reasonable argument. I'm just gonna go with what you said. Hey, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they don't even have a season.
Yeah,
so
they're not having a season.
everyone will be the number one team in the SEC.
It is going to
at
be
that point.
physically impossible to keep the players quarantined outside of the season because as soon as they get back, they're just going to do whatever they want.
I think we
they're
can
on
all
campus
agree.
and everything.
I think we can all agree that UCF is they're losers, right?
Yeah, I hate UCF.
The self-proclaimed champs.
So much.
Well, listen, guys. I wanna give my NFL Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, what is
I
it?
don't think we need to hear it.
Now listen here.
It's going to be something
boys.
bad.
No.
It's gonna be the Saints and the Steelers. I guarantee you.
Wrong. Okay, maybe, but wrong. I just want to justify why I think the Steelers will be good this season.
Oh my god.
Now listen to me. Listen, Linda. Listen. Okay. The Steelers' offense, admittedly, was hot garbage last season.
Yes.
They had Mason Rudolph. They had Duck Hodges. Nobody could really throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Juju Smith-Schuster was injured. So was James Conner. Their defense was lights out, and they will be lights out once again next season. Their defense is staying lights out. They're going to be a top 5 defense in the league. Defense wins championships. Now, you bring back Ben Roethlisberger, who I don't care if he is worse than he was before. That defense paired with Ben Roethlisberger rather than Mason Rudolph or anyone else because he has the most familiarity with the team. And you've got Juju and you've got Deontay Johnson. You've got 2 great running backs in James Conner and Jalen Samuels. And that offensive line is still pretty darn awesome. And now you've got a better red zone tight end in terms of Eric Ebron, paired with, Vance McDonald, who has huge plays here and again. I don't know if he's probably still on the team. And so, I mean, we lost Team Rocket Boy, Jesse James on the Lions, but he wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you pair that top tier defense with even a slightly better offense, they won 8 games, I believe, with trash offense. I think it's fair to give them a few more games with a better offense, great defense, and I think that could lead them to a pretty good Super Bowl run. So Steelers
Okay.
versus, I really want to say Drew Brees and the Saints, just because I want to see that. I want to see Drew Brees or the Bucks in the Super Bowl. I want to say the Bucks. The Bucks are making the Super Bowl. I think that the defensive line on the Bucks is also great, and that secondary is underrated only because they were on the field so much last season in terms of Jameis Winston had over 50 turnovers. That's terrible. Imagine starting the game, you get the coin flip, you get the game, you get the ball to start the game, and immediately the other team has the ball. Yeah. You're starting on defense both in the first and second half, basically. Like that secondary was just, they were exposed, but they were on the field so much, they're probably just dead. And I will say they're not top tier secondary, but they're better than they are made out to be.
Yeah, they're underrated.
And then you've right. And then sure, I don't think Tom Brady will be as prolific on offense as Jameis Winston was, but he'll be on offense more than Jameis Winston was, just in terms of the 30, 40 less turnovers per season. And so, even if he can't, give a deep ball as good as Jameis can to Mike Evans, you've got a great shifty guy in Chris Godwin, top wide receiver in the league. And then you've got Mike Evans, who, will be frustrating in terms of drops, but, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league as well. Athleticism-wise, he's just crazy. And that's just not to mention O.J. Howard. Hopefully he gets better with a better quarterback throwing to him. And Rob Gronkowski, who, yes, he might not be as good as he was previously, but he's had time to rest. His body's 100, and he's Rob Gronkowski. He knows what he's doing. Bucks Steelers Super Bowl, legitimately, is my prediction.
Boring. Steelers are not going to make it.
Yeah.
They're not even going to be close.
They're not going to be close, you say.
They're not even going to win their division.
They don't need to.
And I mean, look, again, I think the one seeds are I think the one seeds are going to have such a big advantage having that bye. And I really feel like the Bucks will get the bye, being the one seed, and I really feel like the Chiefs will get the one seed as well. And I think that advantage, along with them being the best teams, are why they're going to make the
Now let me riddle me this. Now, so the Steelers don't have to be the best team in the division because hopefully Lamar Jackson chokes in the postseason again and loses early, right? Then the Chiefs have no money left. I mean, they're gonna have a similar team to last season, but I do think that they won't be able to get as far only because I don't think they'll have the same defensive luck that they did last season. Because they were showing up in the postseason, and I don't think they're in for it again. I don't know if the Chiefs are gonna make it once again.
You know, I feel like they're the best team, honestly, in the AFC. I feel like
they very well could be, but they're not the most complete team.
You know what? I don't know. I still have them. I think they're just too good. I think their offense is too stacked.
Maybe, and they got that running back. I forget his name. Clyde
Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good.
And
so we'll
someone,
see. And
someone
a
opted
big
out, right? Their running back,
Damian Williams.
Yeah, so that's big.
Yeah, but I mean they got Clyde now. So.
Yeah.
My thing is, whenever you give that quarterback the huge deal, that young quarterback, that the team just falters from there because you can't spend that money on playmakers on defense or linemen or anything like that. And so you've seen it so many times, time and time again. You got, let's say, Jared Goff and the Rams went to the Super Bowl, gave him a huge contract. Where have they been since? The Seahawks, great team, went to the Super Bowl twice while Russell was on his rookie contract. Where have they been since? I mean, I think they're still good. I think they're a sneaky contender as well. And that's not the 49ers are also still amazing. Like the NFC is crazy, I'd say. With Seahawks, Niners, Bucks, Packers.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be tough to make it to the Super Bowl. But with the Chiefs, on the Chiefs side, I don't know. Every time that young player gets that win, it's just tough to win. I mean, to get that contract is tough to make a team around him.
Yeah, and
again, I mean, for the most part, though, I agree. The team is basically the same from last season. They've got basically the same playmakers on offense, and then defense. I don't think they've made many changes, and so maybe they could. I'm just trying to be optimistic about the Steelers, and I think the Steelers' defense, they have a chance against that Chiefs' offense.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be an interesting game if that's what happens in the playoffs, right? That's a must-watch game. And then we'll probably make a little side bet on that. So we'll see how it goes.
I'd love to see the Steelers play the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, that would be fun.
I think that's going to be a really good game. This Steelers defense is getting close to Steel Curtain 2.0.
I mean, TJ Watt is a stud. You have good corners. So, yeah, we'll see.
Don't forget Minka Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm. That was a good trade.
It'll be a fun season, I think. I don't know. I said that about the Rays, and they're disappointing me right now.
I mean, again, it's the start of the season. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and they don't have their best player in Austin Meadows on offense. And so, yeah, hopefully the Rays pick it up. I wish we could have gone to a game. I was really excited to go to some Bucks games, Rays games this season, and then, no fans. Well, so, okay. I don't mind going a little extra on this podcast. Kunal, what do you think of the NFL? They're saying that they're going to allow some percentage of fans in the stadium.
That's a stupid idea.
How are they going to do that?
Yeah, I don't know, though, because, I'm not a expert on viruses or anything, but I'm assuming it'll be okay if they wear masks and social distance, but the issue is once they're in the stadium, the amount of contact that they're going to have with like the outside forces, like the things that they can't control. Like they can control what they do inside the stadium, but outside the stadium, like if they have met with someone before, right, who had coronavirus, and now they come into the stadium and they talk to someone in the stadium, and now that person gets infected, and then it just spreads like contact. If they can do the sports without fans, then I think that they should do that because they have to try and just minimize the risk as much as possible. And like, yeah, it'll suck that there won't be fans, but they can do it without fans.
Right. The NBA and MLB have been doing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's been going decent.
Honestly, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, the virtual fan thing isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Exactly. And like, yeah, it'll suck for the fans, right? Like,
yeah,
I really wanted to go to a Bucks game this season, right, with Tom Brady and everything. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. Everyone's going to get to those tickets really quick. And, like, the problem isn't the fact that, you know, some people are wearing masks and they'll wear it to get in the stadium and everything. But then there's so many people who wear them just to get in and then they take them off. And they just don't abide by social distancing. They don't abide by the mask. It's just so prevalent for some reason in this country that, I don't know. Why do people say, oh, I don't want to muzzle myself or something like, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing not to wear a mask. It's just a small inconvenience, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just dumb. We're like, again, it's a cultural thing where like a lot of cultures around the world are very collectivist. We're pretty much very individualistic, like in the States. So people are out for themselves. They don't understand that the mask thing is about if everyone wears it, it's basically very low chance of spreading it, right?
Bro, in so many other countries like New Zealand, Australia, like there are a bunch of countries that have basically eradicated the virus just because they abided by these guidelines early on.
Yep.
And I don't understand the reasoning for people to not want. It's like, not only do you, like, yes, maybe you're at low risk of getting it and dying, but you're lacking compassion in terms of, you know, spreading the virus to people who will die. Like, you will, like, if you get it and you spread it, and it spreads to someone, like an elderly person, and they die, in my conscience, I'm like, dude, I'm part of the reason this person just died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, so many people who aren't wearing masks, they're religious. And you have to love thy neighbor and everything, all of that sort of stuff. And by not wearing a mask, you're just not doing your duty. Even not as an American, not as a religious person. You're not doing your duty to protect thy neighbor, to help thy neighbor, to love thy neighbor. And like, it's just frustrating. You know, like, what is the problem in wearing a mask?
Mm-hmm.
It's again, it's been politicized and it's stupid.
It's dumb that it's politicized.
I like everything is being politicized. Even like, you know, the school reopening schools, which is the dumbest thing you could even think about. Apparently there was a school district that reopened, right? Mm-hmm. And hours of it like reopening, a kid who was like in a classroom tested positive for COVID. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, they had to close down the school.
Yep.
So I don't understand the school reopening thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand the logic behind a lot of it.
The schools are doing a bad job too. Like for UF, my screening was awful. To like go back to campus, they asked me if I had any symptoms of COVID-19 that weren't due to allergies, and I was like, no. And then they're like, do you want to get tested? And I was like, okay. I mean, I probably am going to get tested, but I just clicked no, and then they're like, okay, you're good to go. And I was like, what?
I think it's more of like a legal thing where like they like can show that they tried by doing some like little stupid questionnaire.
To be honest,
like,
if I was a school, I would, if I had to reopen, I don't know if it's feasible, but I would try and make sure that every student was required to get tested before coming back.
And it's insane that they're not.
But it might be a like issue with maybe people can't afford the test, or they don't have like the necessary resources to like go.
Schools get funded so much.
Yeah, it should be up to the school to test the students.
Oh, you think that they should pay for it, like offer free testing?
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, UF's not going to do that because they're
They're
not
a for-profit institution.
Yeah.
Most schools won't. Yeah, I don't understand it, man. It's tough. Because another thing, I'm personally concerned, like, you can see now, like, the graphs of coronavirus, the cases are going down slightly, right?
Mhm.
And that's a good thing. We got to celebrate that. But we've spread it so much.
Wait,
And
did you say that the cases are going down?
Yeah, aren't they?
You know why?
Why?
There's a pretty... Okay, again, correlation does not equal causation. But if you look at the coronavirus numbers, the time when they started to plateau a little bit is the time when the data, like, privileges and rights were taken over by the government from the CDC. So, again, I don't want to go all tinfoil hat on you, but there's a pretty big, like, time overlap when that happened.
So can you explain the correlation to me?
So, cases were spiking, right, for the longest time.
Okay.
And you heard about it, right, where the CDC was in charge of handling all the COVID data and, like, the new cases and stuff?
Sure.
Well, that data reporting process was taken over by a government entity. I forget the exact government entity, but ever since that government entity has taken over the cases and, like, the data, the numbers have plateaued a little bit. So I'm not saying, again, correlation is not causation, but I'm saying that that's when the numbers started to smooth a little bit.
That is interesting. I mean, it also could be coincidence as well, like right when...
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying it's peculiar.
I hope someone's doing a study on that. But I was going to say, like, we've spread it so much, and I don't understand the mutation factor of it all because I'm not some sort of immunologist or anything like that. But we're allowing it to spread, we're allowing it to mutate, and then we haven't gotten the second wave. And usually with viruses like this, there is a second wave. You see it with the Spanish flu, you see it with other flus, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a second wave, most likely when temperatures cool down, because that's when it's easier to spread. We've already spread it a ton. And
Yep.
we aren't out of the mud yet. We still have crazy daily cases and everything like that. And if that second wave comes, this thing has mutated. It could be a completely different virus the next time it comes around.
True.
We're not ready for that. And
No.
we're just going to allow it to spread again because we're not going to do anything about it in this country. And that's just scary to me. I hope that second wave doesn't come. I hope this is one of those one wave things. I don't know if there's ever been one of those, but like I hope it's a one wave type thing and we slowly get better. Like I'm not rooting for this thing to continue. I'm just stating what I think may happen.
I just want to play basketball again. That's all
I
I
also
want.
want to play basketball.
I know this is like a podcast medium, but I sent you guys the graph I was referring to in our little messenger group.
Mm-hmm.
So like when the HHS, that's the name of the government entity that took over, and just like the the number of cases and how it changed when that happened.
Oh wow! Immediately.
Yeah. So again, I'm not trying to go tinfoil hat on you guys, but
It's not even tinfoil hat. It's just how how the data is going.
yeah.
I mean,
So there could be
all you've said is I'm not trying to go tinfoil hat on you guys, but look at this. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, I don't know.
they could be
concerning because
manipulating it.
also,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been evidence that Rubio in Florida has been telling hospitals to cook the numbers as well with their ICU and everything to show that it's not as bad as things are.
Wow.
But like, then you have hospitals in Florida that are like at capacity in the ICU.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I don't know.
It's just crazy,
What is
man.
the point? What is the point in all this?
It's just crazy.
Are they trying to get a Democrat elected?
Yeah,
Like-
I guess.
Is that their goal? Is RNC like, we need to get Trump out of here. Let's just get a Democrat real quick and get someone who can beat that Democrat next time.
I mean, honestly,
Like-
they're not even trying to have anyone elected at this rate, right? They're trying to push off the election and stuff.
Well, that's not they. That's a Donald Trump only thing.
And,
I think
and some
the
people in the
Republicans are
party.
like-
But yeah, overall, thankfully, the consensus, none of them are that crazy.
Right.
Well, most of them are not that crazy.
Well, you'd hope.
Yeah.
Everyone's corrupted in politics, though. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, not everyone, but vast majority are. So, funded by their numbers, everything. So,
Yeah,
you know,
we'll see how it goes.
who cares about politics? You know, it's something that affects our lives on a daily basis, and would have curbed the spread of coronavirus and whatnot. But who cares?
Yeah,
about,
dude,
who cares about voting?
Like,
and
I
everything?
personally don't vote, right? It's just a waste of my time. Again, that's sarcasm. Please go vote. Please
vote for
vote.
whoever you think
Yeah.
is good, but don't vote for Donald.
No. To vote for whoever you want. Just vote.
No, don't vote for Donald Trump.
No.
In my opinion, you shouldn't vote for the Donald.
Yes, in my personal opinion as well. In my
I think he's
overall
racist,
opinion,
I think he's sexist.
I
I think
think
he's a bad man.
people need to
I think
vote.
he hasn't done anything. What has he done in his presidency?
Yeah,
I think everyone's saying. What? No, I want to say it. What has he done in his presidency? Everyone's like, oh, he's made such great changes. What has he done?
I can't really say. I know.
3 miles of wall that got blown over by a little wind.
Yes, that is true.
Got rid of millions of people's health care.
Yep.
Immigrants who are some of the highest grossing people in the United States who literally help the economy tons in terms of GDP and everything.
Mhm.
Trying to restrict their liberties and freedom inside of the United States.
You don't got to tell me.
Anything else? Am I missing anything? I mean, what has he done positive? Everyone likes to say, oh, he's getting stuff done. What is he doing?
I don't know who says that. I don't know who that everyone is.
Republicans?
Again, I don't. Again, like they are very biased and very narrow-minded people.
But they
in
have
that
to have
sense.
some basis in what they're saying. What, like, I mean, I guess he's severed some ties with China.
I mean, again, I don't know. We'll have to go and like do some research on that. Can't
Sure,
think
he
of
makes
anything
out with
on
Vladimir
top of it.
Putin in the background sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Again.
Maybe Kim Jong Un's invited to those makeout sessions sometimes.
Anyway,
I don't know what's happening, man.
it is what it is. We'll see how the election plays out. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, there's time. Anyway, away from politics. Anything else you wanted to talk about, Kunal?
No, I'm good. Make sure to visit ltwkbrand.com and karmastyles.com.
Yes, sir. So, Kunal just dropped, once again, he dropped his new collection. Make sure you should check that out. My personal favorite is the retro LTWK brand shirt. I don't know if you were checking your phone during this podcast, but I did order the long sleeve during this podcast.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I think that's fire.
Yeah.
But his other designs are also great. And yeah, make sure check out ltwkbrand.com.
If you guys can, follow me on social media at LTWK_brand on Twitter and Instagram. You know, I post a lot of stuff on there too. Like, if I'm dropping new designs soon, that's where you'll probably find out about it.
All right. Sounds good. Make sure you also visit karmastyles.com.
Absolutely.
For this after this podcast, make sure you just check out ltwkbrand.com and check out his socials. Support him everywhere. Kunal's a great guy, and he's trying to make a change in the world and have a fashion brand along with it.
Of course.
Anything you want to say, Sagar?
No, I'm good. I think that's a good place to end it.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to the 1AD podcast.